The U.S. is alarmed. China is trying to make inroads into the United States front yard. Beijing has been trying to station its forces along the Atlantic coast of African countries, while Washington has been trying to counter its efforts with concessions. A Wall Street Journal report reveals the latest example is Gabon. The story goes back to August last year, when Ali Bongo, the then president of the Central African nation, admitted to a White House aide that he has promised China that it could station its military forces on Gabon's Atlantic Ocean coast. Alarmed by the incident, the U.S. urged the president to retract the offer. But within weeks, Bongo was overthrown and U.S. had to start fresh negotiations with a new junta leader. U.S. and Gabonese officials are currently negotiating a defense cooperation agreement and have even discussed about American training to help Gabon secure its borders. Back in November, the White House also decided to have Gabon host this year's U.S.-led West and Central African maritime exercises. The U.S. could also boost support for Gabon's efforts to preserve its rainforests, which cover almost 90% of the country. Next to Gabon is Equatorial Guinea. U.S. officials have previously flagged China's efforts to build a base there, although Washington says there are no signs of military construction at a Chinese-built deep-water commercial port. There are fears in the Oval Office that Equatorial Guinea might allow the Chinese to establish a permanent presence in the country. In a bid to help the African nation, U.S. invited Equatorial Guinea military officials to observe American-led naval exercises and even floated the idea of helping the country with anti-piracy operations. But there are concerns about corruption and money laundering. Concerns have been raised about corruption and money laundering against President Obiang. For the United States, China's presence in the Atlantic, especially a permanent base, is a serious threat to its security. So far, U.S. is winning this battle. No African country with an Atlantic base has signed a deal with China, although Chinese companies have built around 100 commercial ports in Africa since 2000. Only one port serves as a permanent base for Chinese ships and troops. The 7-year-old facility in Djibouti, the Chinese base, which is capable of docking an aircraft carrier and nuclear submarines, is located very near to the largest American base in Africa, Camp Lemonnier. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.